Oh dear, they couldn't leave well enough alone, could they? Now Vegeta's nettled. What would we call this Jeets' Goku button here then? The Broly button? Hey folks, MasakoX here. It's become quite clear that I am the kind of person who would like to see the best in characters show up and shine through, like the main guy in Dragon Ball, Goku. With him, he always wants to see opponents he goes up against come back again for another fight, and to see if he has actually improved against them. And oh yeah, they become nicer people too. Some become nicer than others in a lot more of a briefer time frame. My what-ifs reflect that too for the most part, certainly the more meta ones here. But this one I'm going to be going into today again actually goes the other way. Instead of this same becoming a good guy, or at least working alongside our heroes for the most part, he instead remains a bad guy and mainly works for himself. Vegeta never becomes a good guy. What if he never turned good and instead chose to follow his own path? It's quite obvious that Vegeta naturally wasn't a good guy when he was younger. It took many years with Earthlings and soul searching for him to start to see the bigger picture. It was no clear-cut revelation that made him instantly change sides. It took a long time, something that never happened here. I imagine a lot of fans wouldn't mind seeing Vegeta never becoming a good guy and actually deciding to indulge in his own desires and impulses, in avenging his people and getting his dignity back against Frieza. Take up the Emperor's empire, or better yet, forge his own legion, a new Saiyan colony, and create a world where he could truly become Vegeta the Fourth, like he always wanted to. Now he will get to be King Vegeta. In the last part though, Vegeta's constant insistence on the Broly we know and love now becoming a high-ranking general in his army started to look like a risky bet, like something he really shouldn't be backing all this much. With Paragus advising against it, it led to both he and his son heading for Earth, potentially throwing everything into disarray, and also bringing the Dragon Team back into the King's line of fire, something they really hoped wouldn't happen again. Because remember, Vegeta chose to spare Earth so long as they chose not to interfere with his affairs. It was an act of goodwill, as it were, in his eyes. Back on our home world, Broly arrived, and with his temper being tested, it was Yamcha who was able to calm the Hulk down, and in fact befriend him against the Dragon Team, whilst his father and further behind King Vegeta were heading over to see what was going on, set things straight. Fortunately no, the android warning had been given, and Goku, Gohan and Krillin, who had been on Yardrat training, were able to speed back to Earth faster and tell their friends that they could also sense Vegeta's power heading their way. What's going to happen now? The gang are left utterly bewildered. Vegeta's coming? Why? We didn't do anything, exclaimed Yamcha. Krillin calmed the group down, saying they are sure that they wouldn't have done anything rash to upset their king. I get you, Yamcha, but the fact is, he's coming. Whatever happened, we gotta be ready in case he loses his temper. Meanwhile, Broly was listening to the group discuss this situation, and had been trying to suggest something of his own, or maybe try and give a reason as to why Vegeta might be heading here, but he was being constantly interrupted. Finally, he had had enough waiting around, and let out a roar that shut everybody up, so he could speak. I apologize, but you were being very rude in not letting me speak. The gang quickly say sorry as Broly begins. Like I told Yamcha when I got here, I was sent to this planet to check up on you. A ship was detected nearby our homeworld, and it made Vegeta panic. Goku clocks on that that was their ship heading for Yardrat probably. Man, we should have been more careful, huh? It's alright, Goku. You weren't to know. The king has beacons everywhere. Since I haven't come back or reported to him in a while, he might think I'm either hurt or being influenced by someone. Ten Shinhan mutters. That second idea isn't that far off. Way to go, Yamcha. I told you talking to him was a bad idea. Yamcha is looking daggers at the Triclops, but Gohan tells everyone to be quiet and to let Broly finish. The only way we can stop Vegeta is for me to report back to him and say everything is fine. Can you do that? Asks Bulma. Well, I can. I just need to get back to my pod. With that, the gang head to where Broly's pod remote was guiding them. After an hour of flying, the group descended upon the craft. As Broly was looking at the pod, he was looking quite morose. "What's up, Broly?" asked Gohan. "Honestly," muttered Broly, "I wish Vegeta wasn't as quick to anger. This place is so nice. It would be a shame to have it destroyed." Yamcha thinks for a moment. "Wait, wish? That reminds me! Bulma, why don't we wish his immortality away?" The gang are left dry-mouthed with apprehension. "I hate to burst your bubble, Yamcha," says the stoic Piccolo, "but Vegeta said if we did that, he would unleash his entire empire upon us." "You needn't worry about that," shouted an oldish voice. The group then turned around and spotted what looked like a Saiyan with a one-eyed scar. "Father!" shouted Broly. It was Paragus. "I didn't expect you to have met the natives, Broly. Glad to see you are all right, despite the sudden dispatchment. But yes, if you're all scared about Vegeta's empire raining down on your parade, then you should think again." He had a massive smirk upon his face. Goku was suspicious, though. "How do we know that you're not another plant?" Paragus let out a coarse bark of a laugh. "Ha! As if I would listen to that diminutive despot after how he's treated my boy. I wish he would have just left us where he found us. Listening to the inane cawing of massive insects is far more entertaining than his constant jabbering." He then explains to the group that his empire was great in number of Vegetas, but, much like the Frieza Force, the powers of such forces individually were relatively small, and the count of Saiyans left alive, actual Saiyans, were very low. "Most of the Saiyans remaining are older than I, or had grown soft after years of hiding and living cushier lives in exile. They are not fighters, nor do they possess the will to rekindle said fighting spirit. Vegeta's influence is built around convenience, not loyalty. He offers freedom in exchange for their best fighters. Take away the top dog, and those fighters will just go home. So whatever it is you're planning, pay no mind to the maniac's ramblings," proclaimed Paragus, loving this feeling of superiority, holding the cards. "All I want is for my son and I to be free, and for us to choose where we call home. This place already seems well suited to our tastes from the little I've seen of it." Broly then happily agreed. "This place is perfect, Father. The air is clean, the people are nice, and it's so out of the way of anything that we know of, nobody would dare come for us." The Dragon team nervously tugged their figurative collars. Broly wasn't aware of the upcoming android threat properly, now was he? But it was settled for the moment. They would give this a shot. Bulma, together with Tenshinhan and Yamcha, set about to gather the Dragon Balls as fast as they could, as Broly reported into Vegeta the situation, hoping this would be enough to make him go away. "My liege, this is Broly. Come in." There was a pause before a crackle of static, and the familiar sound of Vegeta echoed through the communicator.
"About time you got back to me. What's going on down there?"
"Nothing, sire. The Earthlings are going about their business. As for that ship you heard, they were training on Yardrat."
"Yardrat. So I was right."
"They don't wish to test your might, sire. They remember your warning. So you can turn around now, go back. All is well." A pause, before a low, hushed tone from the king sputtered, as if he was whispering to Broly.
"Is your father there with you?"
Broly's eyes widen. How did he know about Paragus? My father?
"If this is you playing dumb, then you are either a bad actor or mightily stupid. We detected your father heading to Earth not long after you. He should be there by now. I guess he was supposed to try and rescue you or something. That is why I can no longer go back. This is my personal mission to retrieve him. And if he dare resist me, then, well, let's hope it doesn't come to that."
The crackle ceases, and the line is dead. Vegeta was still coming. "Damn it!" cursed Broly, his face looking pained, sparks flying from his fist. "I can't let him hurt father!" Paragus, who had been listening in quietly, looked very worried. He was most likely going to die. As the attempts to soothe Vegeta's immense brow failed, the group had successfully gathered the Dragon Balls and summoned Shenron to wish for Vegeta's immortality to be removed. Expecting Shenron to be able to easily do this like he's done before, their faces fell considerably when it became clear that that wasn't going to be so easy.
"That is beyond my power."
Huh? But how? You granted immortality before! Why not now?
The wish for immortality was granted by a dragon more powerful than I. Thusly, it is beyond my power.
Of course. Purunga. Without a moment to lose, Tenshinhan barked to Chaozu to use his telepathy to warn Goku about the issue.
But Tien, I don't know whether I have enough energy to speak that far.
You got to try, Chaozu. Surely our time with King Kai has provided some gains. Do it!
With nervous tension, Chaozu summoned all the energy he could muster and shouted to Goku's ki that the Dragon Balls wouldn't work. Miles away, Goku could hear a faint shouting in his ears. He hushed the group, trying to focus, but he couldn't quite hear what it was saying. It was mumbling to him. Back at Shenron, Yamcha then said to maybe try Piccolo. His ears were more sensitive, and his mind was also more receptive to telepathy, since he and Kami talked all the time, he thought. Panting like crazy, Chaozu tried again with Piccolo, and this time, it worked. The Namekian heard it loud and clear.
Guys, we got some bad news. Chaozu says Shenron will grant the wish. We need to use the Namekian Dragon Balls instead. Damn it.
Right. I gotta go to New Namek then. Krillin then exclaimed as Goku was preparing to use instant transmission. But Goku! We don't know whether our technique will work this far out. You might end up in the middle of nowhere and can't get back. Then what will we do? We got to try, Krillin. With that, Goku disappeared, having locked onto the Elder Mori's ki, having been informed by the Elder prior to them leaving before about the general area of where to look for New Namek. He had to make some hops and skips along the way, but Goku did arrive at New Namek and asked the Namekians to summon Purunga and wish away Vegeta's immortality. But they too were nervous.
But Goku, exclaimed Mori, Vegeta explicitly warned us to not do that, or else we would be destroyed.
I know, he warned us too, but I got the feeling we're strong enough to take him down now. He's not trained much since he become king, I think. I bet he's gotten cocky. Please be quick with the dragon, guys. Thank you.
With that, Goku quickly made the hop, skip, and jump back to Earth. However, we still had the wish on Shenron to make. With the dragon waiting, Yamcha was thinking of an alternative solution. Perhaps, maybe, if Vegeta got a taste of his own medicine, then... yeah.
Dragon! I wish for Goku to be made immortal!
The dragon's eyes glowed red, and then dimmed.
That cannot be done. The one called Goku does not wish for immortality.
Yamcha's eyes widened. Seriously? Why wouldn't Goku want immortality? Thinking quickly, he decided to ask for immortality himself.
Are you crazy? What a waste of a wish.
Listen, babe, I gotta try. Once this is all done, I'll wish it away again. I promise.
You better. There is no way I'm going to grow old whilst you swan about not aging a day.
Yamcha gulped and the wish was granted. He could feel his body rejuvenating constantly. He never felt this good ever before. He felt great. Meanwhile, Goku arrived back on the scene and was very ambivalent.
Which one of you guys wanted to give me immortality?
He asked with a slightly serious expression. The group looked confused. Well, nobody had.
I appreciate the gesture, guys, but I don't want something like that given to me. I'm not like Vegeta. I'd rather earn stuff like that instead of being given handouts for the sake of it, out of pity. Besides, if our plan works, we won't need it.
His eyes narrowed though, and he looked up to the sky.
He's on his way here. He's close. I hope Mori and the others can get it done in time.
Minutes later, a crash on the surface of the earth sent up clouds of dirt and made the ground around our team shake. Then, there was an eerie silence before a hiss of a hatch opened, and out stepped a cool but otherwise cruel-looking King Vegeta. For a while, he didn't speak. He just walked towards the group, scoping out the area around them. He couldn't sense anyone trying to jump him lying in wait. All he could sense and see were Kakarot, the Earthlings, Broly, and
Paragus! I'm glad to see you're not hiding from me like a coward. Now state your business here. I already told you not to get in my way with your son. Your actions not only imply issues with my plan, but also imply your lack of faith in your own flesh and blood.
Broly, who Vegeta expected to be hurt by this remark, remained steadfast and unmoved. Paragus stood firm too, despite the immense power gap between them.
Lack of faith? Oh, Vegeta, that couldn't be farther from the truth. I have every faith in my boy. He is the strongest Saiyan I have ever seen. No, the strongest being I've seen in my entire life. He is far more worthy of his power than you ever will be. If the rumors are true also, then at least my boy didn't have to beg for this power, unlike...
Vegeta immediately shot a blast at Paragus in anger, but Goku shot forward, thanks to the spirit control training he had, and deflected the beam, this taking out a nearby mountain range. Goku felt the power though, but wow, this power was this huge without Super Saiyan? Oh, well, okay. Well, when is he going to use that? Oh, guys, you wait, you never learnt it, but like future Gohan said, let's just assume that he had. We haven't done anything, Vegeta. Our training concerns a being that has nothing to do with you. For the last time, we're keeping up our end of the bargain, so you can get off our planet and leave us alone. Vegeta wagged his finger after a little chuckle.
I'm sorry, Kakarot, but I'm afraid I can't do that.
His finger then points to Paragus.
Thanks to your one-eyed fiend here, your promise is moot. Earth has once again come into my view, and that's what I didn't want to happen. It got in my way, and so...
Vegeta projected an energy blast from his finger.
You forfeit my goodwill.
Piccolo then lets out a laugh, which throws Vegeta off his balance.
Ha! If only you could see yourself right now. The way you're acting like him. Like who, Namekian? Frieza. Everything you're doing right now is right out of his playbook. You've become everything you've ever hated.
Vegeta was left speechless. He was right. But in that moment, Goku took his opportunity and landed the first blow, hoping that his friends back on Namek had done their thing. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you folks think? Will Vegeta back off hearing that revelation? Or will he choose to take out his anger anyway? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!